Hey everybody, it's Brendan Daly with Networkr, and today I'm going to answer the question that everybody asks me. Are you ready for it? Here it is. Yes, those are donuts on my shirt. It is a donut shirt. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can get into some really cool stuff today as well. So, let's go. All right, today I want to share something with you that is so important when networking, and so many people just don't do this, along with all the other stuff that I talked about as well. But this little trick, and I don't know if it's really a trick, but it is a system that you need to implement that will help you with your networking and growing your business, growing your relationships. So, what is it? It's pretty simple. You got to measure your levels of relationships. A lot of people, when they go and they network with people, they feel like they have a really good connection with people. But that changes over time. Just like anything in the business world, when you want to change something and you want to grow something, you have to know where you're starting off at. You have to know the baseline measurement. And that's the same thing with relationships. If you want to grow your relationships, you need to be able to start out with, where am I with this person? What is my relationship level with this person? And what is it that I need to do that can help me grow in the different levels of relationship? Here at Networkr, we like to use 5 levels of relationships to help you build, grow, and track your levels of relationships. They're pretty self-explanatory, and so it's easier to track that way. The first level that we like to talk about is actually a level 0. This is what we call a peer level. This is something that as you meet people or you have something in common with people because you attended the same event. For example, if you all attended the same networking event, such as a chamber event, but you didn't actually sit and talk to each other, maybe you saw each other, there was a wave, or you recognized each other, we would consider that a peer connection. You really haven't had a lot of communication with them. You don't know a whole lot about them. You may not even know their name or what they do, but at least you have some type of connection because you belong to the same organization. It's a start. That's what we call a peer level, level 0. From there, we like to move it up to a level 1, which is somebody that you've met. This is something where maybe you've sat at the table with them as you've been able to talk with them and get to know them. You've been able to learn a little bit more about them, their name, their business, some of their likes, maybe some of their dislikes. Or maybe it's pretty superficial still at this time. You've met them, but you don't know a whole lot about them. That usually comes from subsequent interactions. So that moves us up to the next level, a level 2, which is now you know them. Now this is an extremely important level because business, we have found, starts to pass at this level. At this level, at the know level, this is where you know more about them, hence the name. I know, rocket science, I get it. But because you know them, what does that mean? Well, it's more than just knowing their name, their business, what they do, but it's also knowing something a little bit more personal about them. Maybe you know a little bit more about their hobbies, know their family, know some of their activities. Something that makes them more human, not just a person that does business. And I say this all the time in the different networking events that I train at, is just because you have a business card and just because you pass out your business card to somebody doesn't mean that they're going to do business with you. It means nothing. It's the same thing with credentials. If you got a lot of credentials after your name, who cares? I don't care. Most people don't care. It may give you some credibility, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't give you any type of trust because there's a lot of people out there that have credentials, have fancy business cards, and they're idiots. They're dumb, they're scammers, they don't know what they're doing. That's just who they are. So you've got to get to know them a little bit more. It's a little bit more in depth. It's not just business. Maybe you're getting into some more of their hobbies, likes, dislikes, personal experiences. That's an important level. Then from there, we move into a know and trust level. This is a pretty big jump because when we trust somebody, now we feel like we have some really good contact with them. We could call them at 2 o'clock in the morning. We could say, hey, I'm stranded on the side of the road. Could you come and get me? You really trust what they do. You've seen what they do. They're much more vulnerable. That's the key with a lot of this. To move to that know and trust, you're starting to see vulnerability because people are starting to share a little bit more about them as who they are, who their family is, some of their struggles, some of their weaknesses, as well as a lot of their accomplishments. And you're starting to see now that you're willing to help them, they're willing to help you because they trust you. And you'll see a lot more business being passed, referrals being passed, as well as just straight on business exchanging happen at this level. It's a great level. And then from there we move into our final level, which is a raving fan level. This is the ultimate level. And just because somebody gets to a raving fan level doesn't mean that they stay there. You still have to nurture people and nurture those relationships in each of those levels. But a raving fan level is just that. They love you, they trust you, you're willing to go to bat for them, they're willing to go to bat for you. You can call them at any time. They know your weaknesses, they know your strengths, but they have confidence and you'll do what you say you do, as well as you may have confidence in them. So depends on who has that level to them. But those are very important levels. But from those levels, when you start to track those levels, you'll start to see your relationships change and you'll start to see business grow because now you can see who you can spend a lot more time with and be able to nurture and grow the different types of relationships. So that's one of the reasons why we invented the Networkr app. And you can check that out. That's one of the tracking things that we do within the app itself. But you can do this by yourself, but you've got to figure out what is the baseline and what is it that I need to do to grow and track and be able to measure my relationships with people so that I can have more success and so that you can create more value as well. And that you're spending time with new people as well as fostering and nurturing the relationships of those that you already have. So an extremely important tip, a big part of what we need to do in networking, and it is, we refer to this is a networking principle, something that has to happen in order for you to be successful in networking. So go out there, find your relationships, measure them, track them, see what's happening, and you'll start to see your success really start to grow. All right, until next time, see you later.